So, the topic that is going on, very deep analysis, every line you may not be able to follow. The crux of it we have been saying, that is, I am explaining every line and not leaving any point out. But everything boils down to this, that is, there can only be a creation through transformation, or there can be a creation more in the form of a mere perception. If embodiment were the result of change, then you can never do anything about it. Shastram doesn't say that something changes and becomes the world. Something changes, ignorance changes and becomes the world. Nor does it say Atma changes and becomes the world. It only says Atma is seen as both the seer and the seen, the unlimited seer, the unlimited sight, the unlimited awareness is felt as both the seer and the seen. The division is seen within the undivided being. Therefore, it is more in the form of a distorted view, which is there until one looks at oneself the truth. The process of correcting this entire division is not also complicated. It is looking at one's existence, nothing else. Like looking at the existence of the rope negates the snake perception. Similarly, looking at one's existence, which is unlike everything, which is not one of the things, which is the choiceless presence for every perception, without which no perception is possible, without which even the non-perception is not possible. Right? Because even to have absence of perception, I require the presence. The seeing this just, contrast, viveka between one's being and the rest. A very uncomplicated education. A very detail-free education. A very uncrowded message. Looking at one's existence, because in the understanding of one's being correctly as the truth of all that is perceived, and unlike everything, without which nothing is, etc., as the subject of the three states, etc. Well, it's the subject of even the body, subject of the mind, subject. This sense of division gets falsified. One comes to see its falsity. That's not falsifying the division. Because it is falsifiable through right knowledge, we call it as wrong knowledge. It is only wrong knowledge. That it is wrong knowledge makes it negatable through right knowledge. That it is available to be negated through right knowledge, therefore also it is wrong knowledge. Both are one and the same. Two ways of putting it. They are not mutually dependent. It is wrong knowledge, therefore it is negated by the right knowledge. It is negated by the right knowledge, therefore it is wrong knowledge. And wrong knowledge is not a result of change. Therefore, creation is not a result of any change. People may say so many things. are the thinking people. They are not ordinary. They will dismiss all those things. Therefore here, Vedanta says, it is mithya jnanam, otherwise called adhyasa. So I find myself as a form, and this perception that I am a form is mithya jnanam, because it is falsifiable to right knowledge. What is the right knowledge? Seeing the difference between one's existence and the form. The form can't feel me, and the one who feels me is not the form. Yes. The form can't feel me, and the one who feels me is not the form. However much they may look together, however much they may look each other, however much they may look each other, but they are not each other. And therefore, this is the crux of all this discussion. That is, neither embodiment is the result of change, and even when the Shastra says it is adhyasa, adhyasa again cannot be called the result of change. You see, this is the most amazing thing. When Bhashyakara says it is adhyasa, then the Pranati Purvapakshi says, yes, it is adhyasa, but the result of change. You see, adhyasa means contrary to change. It is a great unfoldment. Once we say adhyasa, it is exclusive of processes. Adhyasa means it is unlike the change. Adhyasa means it is unlike any process. Adhyasa means it is a mistaken view. Atasmin tad buddhihi. When it is not so, I see it so. That is called atasmin tad buddhi. जो वह नहीं है, वो सर्प नहीं है. And yet I see it as sarpa. Atasmin tad buddhi. When I am not the form, I see myself as form. That is called atasmin tad buddhi. It is buddhi, view. Now, if I say the embodiment is just a false perception and it exists only as long as I don't discern. I don't look at myself. In fact, I tell you, constancy of looking at one's existence teaches you how to discern. There is no other way. You don't learn it. It is just being with the topic teaches you how to look at the topic. Proximity with a thing teaches you how to understand it. Please don't adopt any technicalities. Please don't adopt. It is just like lying down on the bed, it teaches you how to fall asleep. Lying down on the bed teaches you how to fall asleep. Swamiji used to say, remaining in water teaches you how to swim. Placing yourself in an atmosphere of Vedanta teaches you what is what. The way to understand the truth is taught by the very sanidhyam with the Shastra. The proximity with the Shastram teaches you how to understand. Familiarity with the scripture teaches you how to understand. In fact, familiarity with the scripture is the most useful familiarity. The more you are familiar with the scripture, the more you are drawn to think about it. You see, familiarity with the objects can create likes and dislikes. More dislikes than likes. Even though it may create a like to begin with and ultimately dislike. When the like becomes matured, it becomes dislike. Yes. That is what they mean in familiarity breeds contempt. I would like to explain. It doesn't breed contempt. Familiarity leads to raga dveshas. Likes and dislikes. Familiarity destroys the newness, the freshness. When you meet the person for the first time, it's a freshness. But if you go on meeting him every day, कभी आप चाय पिलाओ, कभी वो चाय पिलाओ, ये चाय पिलाओ, mutual चाय पिलाओ leads to likes and dislikes. But familiarity with the scripture doesn't lead to like and dislikes. Realities don't create likes and dislikes. Especially this reality. There is only one reality, that is one's existence, and the literature for it is what we call Vedanta. Wherever there is right message about one's existence, we call it Vedanta. And the more you become familiar with this literature, please don't think you will develop likes and dislikes. Oh, if you listen to Vedanta every day, then you will lose interest in it. थोड़ा सुनना चाहिए. I don't believe in that. वो सब, not only I don't believe in it, I know it is all wrong. It is all wrong. For a thinking person. The more you are familiar with the literature of the truth, the more it helps you to understand the truth. There is only one thing called the scripture. The familiarity with which never leads to likes and dislikes. The familiarity with the scriptures facilitates understanding the world. Therefore, the only way to discern, the only way by which one can discern one's existence, the subject which is comprehensive of all the objects. No object is inclusive of all other objects, but the one who is aware of all of them is the root. One who is aware of all the existence, one who is aware, everything falls in your sight, falls in your sight, falls in your sight. All the three states falls in your sight. To fall in your sight means, pick up this sentence, anything that falls in your sight is falling in your being. Because your sight is not different from your being. Your sight is not somewhere and you are somewhere. Everything is falling. Therefore, the more you are with this scripture, that is the only way. You can't learn a technicality of understanding the truth somewhere and then understand. It's not easy. There is no technicality to be learned. Like people always ask a question because, there is always a there is always a methodology to do an action. How do you do it? They say. And this is how you do it. But how do you get peace? What is the methodology? There is no technicality. Be aware of the truth that is sharp. How do you? Even attitudes can't give you abiding peace. Because you have to struggle to sustain those attitudes. And if you have a good attitude to somebody, you will exploit. अच्छा है आप हमारे लिए अच्छा attitude रखो. These are nothing. I am telling all this, very, very frankly, because you have been hearing. They must know the exact thing. You have to turn your attention to your being. That's true. We can't really survive only on objects and attitudes. Objects let us down, and also the attitudes also really let us down. How long can you really? Sometimes we have complaints about the attitudes. Swamiji, I am good, but the other person is not good. What can you do? Attitudes ठीक है. When I am talking to a layman, I talk about the attitudes as have good attitudes and you will be peaceful. But I can't tell. The students have been listening to Vedanta for the last 24 yugas. 24 yugas. Chakkar ho gaye. I can't again tell anything. I would like to say exactly. Turn your attention to the eternal. For that there is no methodology, there is no technique. Because the only methodology is the hitherto never looked at one's existence, let it be looked at. I never bring my attention to, I never think in terms of my presence. I think in terms of achieving pleasures. I never think in terms of my presence. My presence is not a topic. I live my presence, but I never think of it. It is never a topic. What is this presence of mind? Without which nothing can be present, nothing can be absent also, really. And therefore, even this embodiment is a wrong perception, because lack of avicharita siddham, lack of inquiry between one's existence and the body, keeps me going thinking that I am the form. What is the methodology to think? The methodology to think is just be with the unfolding. Be with the language of the truth. Be with the language of the truth. Language that teaches the truth. And when you are with the language of the truth, you are also with yourself because you are the form. Thus, I don't know, I should give this example. It's like you just, get onto the train, you will reach. Get onto the train of the language of the truth. Shastra means the train. Both the train of Shastra will reach. Smile. Studying the Shastra teaches you also, not only it teaches the truth, it teaches you how to understand the truth. It is not that the Shastra teaches you the truth and you learn from somewhere how to understand the Shastra. Isn't it easy? Shastra teaches the truth, it also helps man. It also teaches man. You will learn. Me vaisha vridate tena labhyaha. Says Atma vridate tanugam swam. This, how does one understand it? Me vaisha vridate tena labhyaha. When you have the interest, when you are really fired with the zeal to look at yourself will unfold itself to you. When you have some kind of, interest, casual interest, when you talk to a person casually, that person also talks casually and so. If you look up and talk, he will look down and talk. There is no communication. And therefore, clear understanding that no matter. And therefore, anyway, so we are coming back to the point. Our problem, embodiment is not the result of change. This is not a creation. Yes, we call it creation, but it is not the result of change. It's a wrong vision about the truth. Negatable truth, the right vision. Therefore, neither it is a result of change. It is not that you have to become. If you are clear about this, just these two sentences. This is not, neither the world nor my embodiment is the result of change on the part of ignorance, nor is it a result of change on the part of the truth. It is not the result of any change. It is not a result at all. It is not a resultant factor at all. It is a wrong vision that is there due to lack of right vision. It is wrong even to say it came about due to lack of right vision. It is a wrong vision that came about in the past. It is a wrong vision that came about due to lack of right vision is also wrong. It is a wrong vision that is there for want of right vision. You can't go into its history. You can't think of its future. The error doesn't have a past or future. The past and future exist in the error. Tremendous depth. You can't even say it has been. You can say it is. Like truth can't be said, it has been. Truth is. Just as we say the truth is, the error also is. The error is, but negatable, right now. It is there for want of right now. It is a wrong vision that is there for want of right knowledge. Samsara is a wrong vision for want of the right vision about the truth that is there. So between the error that is and the truth that is, there is no spatial gap. The snake that is and the rope that is. What is the gap? Therefore, between samsara and moksha, there is no spatial gap. जहाँ संसार है वहीं पर मोक्ष है, जहाँ तरंग है वहीं पर जल है, जहाँ जीव है वहीं पर ब्रह्म है. Between Jiva and Brahma there is not even 1 inch gap. That I am Jiva is a vision, that I am Brahma is a fact. That we are individuals is a wrong vision. That we are the being of fact. Therefore, it is the familiarity with the language of the scripture, it is the familiarity with the reflection, continued reflection. And what is the definition of reflection? I will define it devoid of complication. Looking at your presence, in which there are no details. There are no details. Looking at your presence. What details are there, Ji? Looking at presence doesn't have is one's presence multifarious? Multicolored? Is one's presence multifarious? Multicolored? Presence doesn't have. I am is not multicolored or multicolored. Truth doesn't change colors. Do you know why? There are no colors. Vedantic riddle. God doesn't change his colors. Why? Why he doesn't change colors? And different people, all of you will come out with a funny answer. And all of you will be wrong. And do you know the right answer? There are no colors. Pure presence. Peace is a peaceful presence. In every situation, whenever you get time in life, and once you have done something which is necessary for survival, then just relax. There is only a program for survival and program for moksha, only two programs. There is a program for survival and program for understanding the truth. खाना बनाना है, खाना बना दिया, आराम से बैठा. Then look at your presence. Uncomplicated reflection. And there in all the three states. Remember the three states. Say they replace one another, but I am not replaced. Everything replaces everything else, but my presence is not replaced. I am not one of the things. My presence is required for everything. Just abiding with the topic. Abiding on the topic, that is your presence, will do the magic. Abiding with the topic. Abiding on the topic helps you understand. Therefore, we abide on the self to understanding, not that after understanding self we have to abide. Are you able to follow? We abide on the topic to understand the topic, not that after understanding the topic you have to abide. Just abiding on nothing else. The entire reflection can be defined only this: abide with yourself, be with your presence. Meditation, be with you. Look at your presence, conscious presence. The entire strategy. Bhagavan Krishna says, Atmanyev Atmana Tushta. Being with yourself is not a suicide. Therefore, don't imagine some complicatedness in understanding the truth. No. Truth is not complicated, nor understanding is complicated. How complicated it is to transcend thought, to fall asleep? How complicated it is? To construct the bed is complicated. To put the mattress on it is really complicated because a lot of work. To climb onto it is complicated. Even to lie down is complicated. But just to close your eyes and intending to fall asleep, what is the problem? That intention to sleep. Bringing your attention back to yourself. What is problem? What complicated? That is why, I'm telling you this is because now you need to hear all this. You have heard all those spade work details. Now you have to hear the actual Shastra. And what you call when we say that you have to meditate, you have to dwell, you have to reflect, all these things, it's not any effort. That's why Shastra says, karma implies effort. Jnana is not karma, means jnana implies no effort. Why does the Shastra go on emphasizing moksha is not the result of effort? It goes on talking the difference between jnana and karma. This is karma, this is jnana. What does it mean? This is effort, this is effortlessness. In other language, in other words, this is effort, this is effortlessness. Action cannot be born without effort. And action cannot create a result without effort because there is a long time change. There is all effort. For me to perform an action is an effort. And for the action to create a result is an effort because there is time involved. And for me to enjoy the result is an effort. It is a realm of effort. Karma is a realm of effort. Whereas knowledge, jnana is not karma, it is effortlessness. The existence of truth is effortless. Understanding it? Of course. Action being in the form of effort, I have to make an effort to make an effort. I have to create an action. Action itself is an effort. And therefore to bring about an effort, I have to make an effort. Existence of mind, existence of ourselves is effortless, and grasping it also is effortless. Meaning what? Uncomplicated. Long study doesn't mean really a lot of effort. It looks a long effort because the effort is not in grasping the truth. The effort is to turn the attention back to that. It looks like effort. My conviction that I have to work and achieve and enjoy in life. My conviction that, it's a conviction, age-old anadi avidya. This age-old conviction that I must work, achieve and enjoy. Without that, life is empty. Minus the achievement of the material abundance, my life is empty. This conviction that my life will be empty minus the material wealth, I will be doing karma, etc. I am changing that conviction and understanding what Shastra is the actual problem. It takes long time. It's not effort. It is effortless education. Grasping truth is not an effort, but turning one's attention to truth. Bringing one's attention back to oneself is an effort, but not complicated. Giving one's attention to oneself is an effort, but it is details-free effort. Are you able to follow? Details-free means, supposing, you have to sell some property and then make an agreement. Kya details? Somebody asked me, Swamiji, why don't you go through it? मुझे नहीं जाना. खुश है, खुश है. I am used to detail-free existence. I don't want to get into all these details. Why should I enjoy the prarabdha of doing so? But bringing one's attention back to oneself is a very, very uncomplicated. It's an effort, but not that really you have to go through a lot of terminology. Please, no terminal, no effort. You don't require sadhanas for it. You don't have to have the means for it. A silent understanding, this conviction is wrong. Thus, we have seen here up to this. Evam shuktika rupimavi bhavata bhranti vishayattvena svikaraniyamev vishayamantara tasya jnanasya jnanatva sambhavat. And now I am going to make page number 28, second line. That is what? We have seen all this? I am seeing point by point here. Don't create problems. Follow clearly. Nakarana karana. Lakshmana chorna. Each perform. Understand? The Purvapakshi says, sir, how can you see Rajatam unless there is Rajatam? How can you see Rajatam unless there is Rajatam? You cannot see Rajatam that is not there. Therefore we have to accept that the ignorance about the Shuktika undergoes a change and stands there as the Rajatam, and then I see it. If Rajatam is not at all there, how can you see it? And then he says, supposing you were to argue, my dear Siddhanti, if it is there, how can you negate it? And the Purvapakshi says, I see it, therefore it is there. But in the knowledge of the Shuktika it goes, therefore it is falsely there. It is there, but less real than the market silver. Are you able to follow? Don't say it is totally not there. It is there with less reality than the real silver. Why not we say that? Or this the Siddhanta says no. Because Bhashikara says Shuktika hi rajatavad avabhasate natu tatra rajatamasti. Shall is seen as silver, not that there is any. He doesn't say there is no real silver, there is a less real silver. He says there is no silver. How do we interpret that Vakyam? What is Bhashikara speaking? What is Bhashikara speaking? Does he really accept that there is a lesser real silver? Does he accept that there is a lesser real universe? If we say there is a lesser real universe, then what is more real universe? दाष्टान्त में प्रॉब्लम आ जाएंगे. If the Rajatam is lesser real silver, the silver that you see in the shell, if it is a lesser real silver, it is lesser real than the market silver. ठीक है. And that is the example given for the universe. That means it is a lesser real universe compared to which real universe? So I can't say this is a lesser real universe than the real universe. दाष्टान्त में गड़बड़ हो जाएंगे. If we say this is a lesser real, it is not unreal, but it is lesser real than Brahman, if you say. What is the lesser real can be parallel to the more real, why not? But if the lesser real is not parallel to the more real, then the lesser real, what you describe as lesser real, the universe, is only a bhranti about the real. Ultimately, you will be pressurized to accept that it is not a lesser real creation, it is an unreal illusion. It is a perception looking like a thing. Like a dream. Alright. Just because the dream objects, can we say there have to be objects for in dream? Are there really objects for you to see? Just as here you say we can't see the Rajatam unless it is there. Can we say in the dream also we can't see a mountain unless it is there? And Karikakara says in Mandukya Karikakara says, sir, there are no mountains inside your body. There are no lakes that you see in the dream. The lakes that you see in the dream are not inside you. There are no mountains inside you. And you see the rivers, there are no rivers in you. But you see them all. What does it mean? What is the Acharya's thinking? The thinking of all the ancient Acharyas is, these are all really a reality seen differently. The one is seen as both the seer and the seen. One unlimited seer is seen both as the seer and the seen. Amazingly, just follow this thing. One unlimited absolute sight is felt as both the seer and the seen. You know, the seer of the rope is seen as both the seer of the snake and the snake. Yes. I'm looking at myself as the seer of the snakes. Actually, I am not the seer of the snake. I am only a seer of the rope. The seer of the rope I am seeing as the seer of the snake. I am seeing the rope as snake, or I am saying I am seeing myself as the seer of the snake. If somebody says, who are you? I am a seer of the snake. What is it? Snake. What are you? Right at this point of time? Seer of the snake. But actually what are you? Seer of the rope. Similarly, the seer of the universe right at that time is in fact the seer of the absolute. Like the seer of the snake, right at the same time is the seer of the rope. The seer of the universe is in fact the seer of the unity. Therefore, it is not that there has to be a thing for me to see. How can we see that? Does it not amount to Shunyavada if we accept that we can see things which are not there? No. We don't say we are seeing that is not there. We see what is there wrongly. It is the crux of Vedanta. If we capture this, we will not sit quite at home. We will be reflected, unless we are absolutely godless. Very sensitive person. Wherever he is in his life, he will be reflected. That means I am not seeing a universe that is honest. Nor am I seeing the universe that is existing. I am seeing a reality as me and the universe. I am not seeing myself, Mr. So-and-so, that is there. Nor am I seeing myself as a distance also, that is not there. I am seeing the myself, the truth as Mr. Soul. It is a self-illusion. How can you, having heard Veda, how can you keep quiet? थोड़ा बहुत तो विचार कर ही लेते हैं. You can grow out of samsara. You can't grow out of vairagya. You can't grow out of shastra. You can't grow out of shastra. You can grow out of samsara. You have to grow out. Thus, I have covered some important salient points. Now, please see. What's now? Page number 28. Take the line. In the middle of the page, there is a line. Nahi rajvam Kranti buddhya kalpitaha sarpaha vidyamanaha sanna vivekato nivrittaha. Have you been able to find out? How great, how great, how great, how great, how great. If you can find a line that I refer to, you can find the truth also. Because these lines. Do you know what it means? Nahi rajvam bhranti buddhya kalpitaha. Rajvam in the rajju bhranti buddhya, through bhranti kalpitaha seen sarpaha. This sarpa that one sees in the rajju, vidyamanaha sanna vivekato nivrittaha. It is not that it is there and after the ropa jnanam it goes. It is not that having been there it goes. It is not that the sarpa which has been there disappears through rajju jnanam. Nahi vidyamanaha sanna nivrittaha. विद्यमान होकर नहीं जाता है. Don't say before I come to know the rope there is a snake. Oh, the snake was there, now it is gone. Don't say that. Nahi rajvam bhranti buddhya kalpitaha sarpaha vidyamanaha sanna vivekato nivrittaha. Nahi mano vikalpanayaha rajju sarpalakshanayaha rajvam pralaye utpattirva ityadi sthaleshu. Another bhashya vakyam says, it's very beautiful. Patiently here. Nahi mano vikalpanayaha, it is a mental error. Mano vikalpana. It is a mano kalpana. It is a mental. It is an error in perception. It's called mano kalpana. Manti kalpana. What is sarpa? It's an error. Mano vikalpanayaha rajju sarpalakshanayaha, which is nothing but sarpa, rajju sarpa. It is a rajju sarpa. It is not real sarpa. It is a rajju sarpa. Rope snake. Snake is different from rope snake. This is not prapancha, this is Brahma prapancha. समझ आ गया ना? This is not prapancha, this is a Brahma prapancha, this is a Brahma loka. It is not a loka, it is a Brahma loka. Brahman itself is seen as loka, that is why it is called Brahma loka. This is a Brahma loka. Creating Brahman. Therefore, nahi mano vikalpanayaha rajju sarpalakshanayaha rajvam pralaye utpattirva. It is not true that the sarpa is born there, and it is not that sarpa has laya there. There is no srishti of sarpa there. There is no laya of srishti there. The laya of sarpa. Are you able to follow? There is no srishti or laya. There is only perception. इसका सृष्टि नहीं है. If there is no सृष्टि, that means it is no. You can't say that it is less really born. It is not less really born. It is not born really. Why do you bring it? It is seen so, not born so. It is seen by me as a snake, not once. Therefore, nahi mano vikalpanaya rajulakshanaaya rajvam pralaya utpattirva ityadi sthaleshu evam vartikepi. Now I am going to quote Vartika. It's a great Vartika. Vartika is Brihadaranyaka Vartika. Say, Sureshwaracharya's Vartika. What does it say? See? You know, Vartika is the one which analyzes Bhashya. Even Bhashya takes into account. Vartika is huge. Vartika Kara. And what about us? For life we are stuck with Rama, 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 Ramayana, Rama, Vyam, Ramai. We are stuck with Rama, Rama, Rama. They were great scholars. That's why they were able to analyze it so well, so beautiful. We are able to survive. We are able to live our life, enjoy existence, studying Shastra because of them. If the tradition is there only in the air, not in writing, how do you capture it? Vedanta would have been minus Bhashyam, it would have been free for all. Therefore, I would say, if there is one individual who has done the greatest good to this nation, it is Shankaracharya. I am telling you. Because the spiritual well-being was bestowed by Bhashyam. You don't imagine, I would look upon him as the law of karma. The India's prarabdham plot, or the human beings prarabdham, throughout the individual consciousness, good prarabdham. It's a collective prarabdham. Otherwise, India would have been materially shunyam and spiritually shunyam. Both of contentions. Indian spirituality would have been the most contentious problem. And we would have had spiritual civil wars. Despite such great tradition, we have so many problems. Don't think really within Hinduism there are no conflicts. We have more than one Sunnis and more than one Shiites. Yes, we have sects. We have branches and branches of Sunnis and branches and branches of Shiites. Don't think we are all very good people and as a kuch nahi. We are all the same as others. Among ourselves we fight and fight. We are not better human beings than others. But our scripture is a better scripture. Our scripture is great. So we can borrow the scripture's light. We are great because of our scripture. We can enjoy the borrowed faith. I know. Anyway, we are great borrowers. We can borrow the scripture's light. Therefore, this Vartika says, listen to this and then we will leave. Please listen to this very well. Rajju Sarpaha, this rook snake, Yatha Loke, how in this world, Ajnata Rajju Satatvaka, very beautiful. Its truth is not ignorance. Its truth also is not that really ignorance became changed and become the sarpa. If ignorance changed and become the sarpa, then the truth of the sarpa would have been ignorance. If Rajju really changed and become the sarpa, then Rajju would have been the changing truth. But neither. Then what is the truth of the sarpa? Ajnata Rajju Satatvakaha. Ajnana Rajju Satatvaha. Tatvakaha. You know what it means? The truth of the sarpa is rope ununderstood. The truth of the sarpa is rope ununderstood. Neither rope is the truth of the sarpa, nor ignorance is the truth of the sarpa, but the rope ununderstood. That means error. Rajju ununderstood. Ununderstood. Is the truth of it is the real. Ajnata. Similarly, what is the truth of the silver? Ajnata Shuktika. Shuktika ununderstood looks. Where is the change in it? You can't say if milk becomes curd, you can't say Ajnata Dugdham is the tattva of the dadi. Can you say? What is dadi? Ajnata Dugdham. Rope ununderstood becomes curd. The milk ununderstood becomes curd. Is it like that? See, the acharyas are very clear. Their clarity. You know, these confusions came much later. Some joker creates unnecessary something. And then because it is in Sanskrit, we start giving him also some credence. Whoever says in Sanskrit, we give credence. All that you have to say is yam, 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 ve, yam, 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 ve. We say, Rama, yam, Ramai, Rama, yam, Ramai, yam, 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 yam. Hello, great scholar. These are the things you please understand. Even Charvakas have written that thing in Sanskrit. And they are the biggest jokers. They say, Hey Bhagavan, we have written this book that you are not there. Please help us to popularize it. Please help us to popularize it. Because unwittingly you remember. God is remembered not wittingly. Truth always comes to your memory unwittingly. Because helplessness is there. Some power is always remembered. Definition of it changes from place to place. But some power is always remembered, is called to your rescue. You always remember some power to come to your rescue. It is nothing but an unwavering memory of the truth. It is an instinct. It is not an impulse. It is an instinct. Clear? You continue it. Punamada, Punalam, Puna, Punulachare, Punasya, Punamadaya, Punameva, Vajishare, Om Shanti, Shanti,